I see my sudden appearance hasn't alarmed you. That's rare. My lure has been known to intimidate many individuals, so when I come to those in need, they initially think of me as a ghost or a demon. Either your electronic distractions prevented you from the shock, or not much phases you. Perhaps a little of column A and column B. People these days are rarely scared by anything. Kind of takes the wind out of my mysterious, otherworldly being sails, if I'm being honest. Of course, I would hate to sound rude as a guest in your home, but perhaps you could turn that off. I would like to converse with you while maintaining your attention. I've come here to help you, and I can't very well do that while you're engaging in, well, whatever that is. Thank you. Now we can speak properly. I sensed your mental anguish from far off, so here I am to bring you comfort. It would appear the Sandman has yet to grace you with his presence. You long for slumber, don't you? Perhaps I could be of assistance by doing what he is currently unable to. I have no sleeping powder of my own, but I have found that my company has been known to relax others. We have already made great strides in bringing you to Slumberland by turning off that bit of entertainment. Would you care to power down your cell phone as well? The less obstacles to sleep that you have, the better. Very good. Now, here the two of us sit in the dark. The rain outside is pleasing to the ears, don't you think? Nothing is as calm as a rainy night. And as long as I don't have to venture into the torrent, well, that's another matter. I prefer not to be drenched. This is an ideal scenario. Safe and warm indoors, with the percussive music of the sky as accompaniment to our conversation. Apologies. My language can get a little erudite at times, choosing poetic words over practical ones. I can see you are still seated in the chair in front of your television. Unless you have a very abnormal method of sleeping, might I recommend that you vacate your current residence for something more comfortable? May I suggest your bed? Yeah, that's more like it. While your sleepless state isn't entirely cured, we are gradually making forward progress to the intended goal. Does my appearance put you at ease? If you'd prefer, I can look like someone or something else at whim. I wouldn't be troubled at the least. Very little troubles me besides people in distress. Over the years, I've assisted many mortals in the dark of night. That is when I prefer to be most active. During the days I rest, sunlight doesn't agree with me, and the only illumination that I truly enjoy is from the moon. No, that does not make me a vampire. I am much harder to classify. And for a simplicity's sake, you could consider me other, an amalgamation of sentient shadows. My purpose, I have decided, is to aid troubled souls during moonlit hours. You can call me anything you'd like, or you may call me the stranger. Perhaps I could teach you my name another time if you have need of my services again, but for now, stranger suits me fine, since that is what I am. You're wondering how long I've been operating in this questionably altruistic capacity. That would require some pondering. Do you remember what your first few years of existence was like? Challenging, I'm sure. Now multiply that by 15,000, and that is the length of time I would have need to sift through. My memories are more than a few centuries into the past, and they're hazy, but I have witnessed many significant eras of history. I very well could have come into being around the time of BC, as it became AD, but that is only an estimate. The longer I live, the more memories slip through my fingers like sand in a sieve. There are no other beings like me that I have met, so at times it's been a lonely existence. You mortals have been my main company and entertainment over these many years, even when you haven't realized I was watching. The memories of empires rising and falling passed by me like a TV show's pilot, followed by its inevitable ending, would pass you by. Perhaps it sounds tragic when I describe my life in that manner, the impermanence of it all. I see it from a different angle. It brings me comfort. I don't know when, but someday I will cease to be. I don't dread it, nor do I look forward to it. I simply accept the eventuality. By the widening of your eyes, I take it my existential, philosophical monologues failed to put your mind at ease. Forgive me. I sometimes forget what comforts mortals and what frightens them. I will attempt to change the subject to something you may find more comforting. Even after all this time, there is one memory I hold on to and cherish, while the others fade into oblivion. There was a time I resided in a land whose name was lost to time. This country was a lush region with plentiful natural resources. The people never went hungry. During the night, villages and cities throughout the land would celebrate their continued prosperity, praising their various deities with reverence and revelry. Whether those deities truly exist, even I could not say. Something was watching over them. I can say that much. While other nations descended into war and famine, these people remained blissfully free of those so common human atrocities. In one of these cities, I spent some time among the chieftain and his family of many wives, husbands, and many, many children. He was a kind ruler, governing with a soft touch rather than an iron fist. It was certainly a refreshing change of pace from other rulers that I had spent any amount of time around. One night, the chieftain's large family was out celebrating with their fellow citizens when he was struck down in his bedchambers by a mysterious ailment. All he wanted in that moment was company, but there was no one else home. So, I came to his side, and I comforted him. His last words were, "Thank you, stranger. I go now to my rest, a little easier, knowing someone was here to witness my end." With that, he passed. Not wanting to scare his family, I withdrew into the night air. His family mourned his death naturally, but celebrated his life as well with a beautiful ritual dedicated to their gods. What stayed with me after all those years was my brief direct interaction with the chieftain, serving as a link between your world and the next. That was the first time someone truly acknowledged my presence. Before that, I was content to blend in with the shadows. Now, after all this time, I still find pleasure assisting humans in any way I can, as long as their wishes do not harm other living things. Are your modern sensibilities too hardened and cynical to not be moved by such a story? As jesters in your era say, where their routines are not well received, tough crowd. Well, tell me then, how best may I help you reach your goal of sleep? That seems crass. While I have assisted in that fashion with the chronically lonely and desperately mesmerized, I am unsure if that solution is warranted here. You have truly felt nothing from anything I have said thus far. Your mind seemingly has been preoccupied with something to release you. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised knowing human behavior, but I felt soothing words were what you had needed. It is a way to drift off to sleep more easily, so it is a method I can employ. Perhaps I can help you in another manner. Is there a particular form you'd prefer that I take to increase your comfort that you could receive from this? My body can change its texture to add to pleasure or comfort. You don't need to say anything. Simply visualize your ideal partner, and I will take the form of the object of your desires. Gently combing my fingers through your hair, allowing you to relax and breathe in and out, giving yourself time to distance your mind from your body, relaxing your fingers and your arms, feeling that weightlessness take over your body, all while you're listening to my voice and the rain, sinking deeper and deeper into sleep. Good. That's it.